What's up, Junkie Nation? One of our favorites joins us here on the hotline. It's AJ McKee Jr., the mercenary. He's got a big fight coming up against Paul Hughes at PFL Super Fights Battle of the Giants on October 19th. It is a pay-per-view that you can watch on ESPN Plus or DAZN. And remember, there's an early start time, 4 p.m. Eastern. Lots of great fighters on this fight card. AJ, man, Paul Hughes, what do you know about this guy? They're talking about him over there on the other side of the pond. Has he impressed you in any of the video footage you've been able to examine?
I haven't really watched much. I know he's Irish, so he likes to talk smack. That's about it. Nah, man, he's tough. He's coming to fight. He's young, up and coming. He ain't that young though. I looked him up. He's a couple years younger than me. He's not that young, so he's young in the fight game. He's had a few fights. I don't know. I don't think he's been tested yet. So um, when things get nitty gritty, when he's tired, when things aren't going as planned, I want to see what type of person he is. Fight or flight, and how deep is your fight? That's what I'm always trying to see is how deep are you willing to go?
You're a former world champion. You're a former Grand Prix champion. You've only lost once in 23 fights. Outstanding career. And just a few weeks ago, when Usman Nurmagomedov defeated Alexander Shavali, they were trying to talk about maybe you and Usman. Can you get as excited for Paul Hughes as hearing your name being thrown into a title fight with Usman Nurmagomedov? Can you keep that level of intensity and make sure you don't slack off just because the other guy's not a big name yet?
Definitely. For me, I went and saw that fight. I witnessed it firsthand. I do a little bit of scouting myself. I think it's been the fight that everybody's wanted to see for quite some time now. Obviously, myself catching staff through the tournament. Him. Something happened with him during the tournament, testing wise or whatever. So he went on a little suspension, but we just continued to fight and perfect our craft, and you know, I can't really look past Paul Hughes because styles make fights and every fight's a different fight. So for me, it's staying focused on Paul Hughes. But after that Usman fight, um, Khabib did walk by and he goes, see you in Dubai, brother. And I started laughing. Like, it's just funny, because he knows I'm watching while I'm there. And, every time he sees Pops, he gives Pops a lot of respect. They have a mutual respect for each other. They've rolled with each other. They've kind of had their moment. And, I think both coaches kind of know, like, Usman and I will have our moment when it comes. So for me, it's just a matter of going in there, getting through this fight, and then on to becoming another world champions.
Man, I can't wait for that one. But like you said, first things first, Paul Hughes on the 19th. AJ, let me ask you a question. We're kind of busting chops with the guys there in the gym. Were you ever that guy where you were kind of like, young and boastful and thinking you kind of knew it all, and then maybe a veteran had to check you and make you tougher, and now you're obviously now the more mature guy. But were you ever that guy?
Oh, definitely, dude. I was probably one of the biggest shit talkers in the gym at one point, and I was under 18. So, um, I just, I don't know. I've gotten older. I've calmed down a bit. But I don't know. My father's always been my mentor. He's always been my coach. So for me, I just kind of, whether I agree or not, I listen to what he says, and I know he wouldn't put me down that path unless he's already walked it, or he wouldn't be willing to walk it himself. So, um, I I'm always on these guys' heads, because the environment that they're being trained in and raised in versus the environment I was raised and trained in is night and day fucking difference. These guys got it easy. They got lollipops in their mouths and they're just chilling versus straight up, dude. Like, and I feel like it kind of shows in the mindset of the older fighters versus the newer fighters. You know what I mean? Back in the day, you don't really see guys tapping. Everybody's going out on their shield. They're going to sleep, or they're gonna give it all they got until the end. A lot of these new guys, they're tapping before they're even asleep. You know what I mean? It's the fact that they're just claustrophobic and they're like, I don't like this. So they're tapping to get out of there. So kind of the body shop motto is you're gonna be built to last, built strong, and if you got weak skin, this definitely ain't the spot for you because I'm gonna push every button possible, and then I'm gonna come at you and hit you with everything possible.
Let's talk a little bit about pushing buttons because Paul Hughes also said he likes to talk smack. He goes, I know we're going to end up talking smack a little bit for this fight. Do you invite that environment? Do you like it? Because it seems like you can sort of thrive on that sometimes.
Yeah, for me, it's funny. I find I've been through so many fights to where I used to take smack talking personal. I used to let it get under my skin a little bit. But at this point, it's entertainment. You know what I mean? I've been in there and I've fought so many times to where it's like, dude, your little smack talk isn't gonna bother me. You know what I mean? He's like calling me boring and stuff, and I'm like, dude, I got more finishes than you have fights. Like, so it's just, I have a unique way of talking smack. It's more of like a factual aspect that kind of just burns you and makes you feel stupid when you sit back and think about what was said.
When we get these cards and we look at the headliners and all that, that's usually where people are spending their money. But there are certain names that show up on cards where you go, you got my money. I think you're one of those names. This fight here, in a way, is it sort of like the hardcores, people's main event in the sense because we know both your guys' games match up really well. It should be a fun one.
Um, yeah, this is honestly a really big card. You know, you got Francis on there, you got the woman goat, Cyborg, you've got myself, Johnny Upland. You've got a lot of big names on this card, a lot of fights that were entertaining that are gonna happen again, and just big draws overall. So this is a very memorable card to be on. And myself, I, I fought in February, so all my fans been wanting to see me fight. All my friends, family, everybody's like, "Yo, when are you fighting? When are you fighting?" So, um, for me, it's always fun when I get to go out there and put on a great show. And I always see myself as the main event, no matter where I'm at on the card. I'm coming to steal the show.
This transition between Bellator and PFL, does it still feel like you guys are kind of out here? Or is it closer? How has it felt so far dealing with new people and all that?
Um, it's cool. I've since day one I've felt very comfortable with PFL. They've been nothing but welcoming and loving, and um they cater to us very well. It's just a matter of becoming comfortable. It's obviously a new environment. It's a little bit different versus what we're used to. But I would say in totality, man, it's an awesome move. We still got the Bellator shows going on, and they're kind of doing their thing. And then we have the PFL events as well. So it's kind of like mixing the best of both worlds, and that's what's cool. You know what I mean? It gives us an opportunity to have not one but two platforms to go showcase our skills. And there's two
Well, yeah.
titles. You can go become two champ if you want. You know what I mean? You got the tournament on PFL side, and then you have obviously Bellator's belts on the line as well.
Hey, AJ, I know we can't turn back the clock, but I guess as a fan, I do have to ask, why wasn't it made you versus Usman? Whether it was this card or maybe 2 months later, did they ever tell you why they went in that direction?
Um, no, but the finals, I feel like Sheebly kind of deserved that title shot. Um,
Right.
so I wasn't too upset, like, oh, whatever, Sheebly's getting put in there because I didn't even get to fight in the tournament. Versus him and Usman, they made it to the finals and then the whole thing kind of fell through. So I feel that was kind of more of the honorable fight that should have been given. But from a fan standpoint, it's McKee versus Usman. That's what everybody wants to see. You know what I mean? So I understand that aspect of it. Um, but at the
But I
same
mean,
time, I
I'm
got to
not talking
fight.
about the Grand Prix. I'm talking about after that was settled and Usman won, because I heard your name on the broadcast. Why did they go with you versus Hughes rather than you versus Usman now that Usman's won the Grand Prix?
I don't know. I have no idea. He might need a little break. I don't know. I think that's the next fight, regardless, though. You know what I mean? Khabib kind of said it to me. I've kind of been veering for it for a minute, and I think everybody knows that's the fight to make. I think that's the fight that they're gonna make. It's the only fight that kind of makes sense to make. But obviously, I got to go do my job. You know what I mean? It's one more
Right.
man in front of me, and I think when you look at the stats, it we all know who deserves that title shot. But I just got one more step to prove. You know.
Right. Okay. Well, like I said, no turning back the clock. It's you versus Paul Hughes on the 19th. But we followed your career from the beginning, and I feel like you obviously have accomplished a lot of things, but I just feel like, man, you're one of their stars. I'd like to see you fight more often, and it seems like you've been pretty healthy.
Yeah, I've been pretty healthy. You know, I've been eating good: chicken parmesan, blueberry banana pancakes every day after training. So I've been putting on a bit of weight. I'm up to like 180 right now, so I've gotten a bit bigger, which is cool. I don't mind. You know what I mean? It's I don't know about going back down to 45s. We'll think about it.
Yeah.
Maybe once or twice. I don't know. You know, prior to the Clay Collard fight, I was talking to him about potentially going back down to 45s, and um, it's just got to make sense. You know, there was no title on the line, so I was like, dude, the lowest I'm going is 150 for a non-title fight.
Hmm.
There's just no point. But 155 is it's stomping grounds right now, and I could potentially have a title shot here at 155 pounds. So for me, it's just keep doing what I'm doing and follow the plan.
Okay. Last question. We talked about you've grown up, you've matured. Looking back, you and the Pitbull brothers used to chirp and shit. If you run into them now, you guys, can you laugh it off? Can you hug it out and all that? Like, how is it? Because now that everyone's obviously had success, made some money, can two rivals just look at each other and just laugh and say, "Hey, man, those are some crazy times."
Definitely, you know what I mean. It's all part of the art of war. It's all part of fighting. You know, we're supposed to believe in ourselves. We're supposed to want to challenge ourselves to the greatest extent. So those battles between us are obviously some of our most pink moments of our career. So there's always that like feeling, you know what I mean? Like for me, it's always like, all right, I wanted to finish the game. You know, it's 1-1, so let's finish it. But then
Hmm.
again, at the same time, it's more like it is what it is. You know what I mean? I'm not really worried about it. I have a lot of respect for him. Um, you know, I got to share some great moments with him, some of the greatest moments in my career. I'm thankful for the win. I'm thankful for the loss, because at the same time, that loss turned me into something completely different. To where um, I'm just grateful for it all. You know what I mean? I don't really lose. I win because there's always a lesson to be learned in life. And even when you win, there's a lesson to be learned. So you just gotta stay thick and thin and continue to improvise and learn in those situations and make yourself better with the circumstances that you have. So yeah, there's no ill intention whenever we see each other. You know, we both respect each other. We always show each other respect, and whenever he's fighting, if we're on the same card and stuff, I'm definitely supporting him, and I would like to think it's vice versa.
Man, this is either going to be corny or cool, but one day I'd like to see you and him in a convertible, and then you guys are just kind of racing a little, but not each other. You're in the same car. He's your passenger, and you're in the driver. And then you kind of hit this little bump where the tires kind of come off the air, and you're both just kind of laughing. Two guys that used
Yeah.
to fight each other and get into it are just out in Long Beach having a good time.
Yeah, well, shit. If he likes speed, dude, tell him to come on down to Cali. I'll show him a good time.
I know,
We'll go Need for Speed it up, Fast and Furious style. You know,
I know
it's a
you
culture
will.
and a lifestyle out here, man. It's literally been embedded into us since I was a kid. All I watched was Fast and Furious. You know what I mean? I visited quite a few of the spots in the movies, and it's a big part of California culture. So yeah, if he ever
Mhm.
wants to come down, dog, definitely we go cruise PCH, take it all the way up Malibu. Some great drives out here.
Oh yeah, no doubt, man. Former SoCaler over here, so I know what you're talking about. And don't forget, Formula One's coming back to Las Vegas in November, man.
I got to make it out this year. Let's see.
Yeah,
Let's go.
Yeah, I got to make it out this year. That's right after the fight too, so I won't have anything on the schedule. I
yeah, it's like
definitely need to get out
late
there.
November, November 21 through 23. It's a pretty cool event.
Man, I'm gonna have to get out there for sure. That's like, that's definitely. It's a bucket list. I was supposed to go to the one in Florida, never got a chance to. I just certain things came up that kept me from being able to go. So this one's only a couple hours drive away. Like, why not? You know, it's at the neighbor's house. Let's go party at the neighbor's house.
There you go.
Exactly. All right, we'll let you go slap some of them young guys up. Thanks for the time as always, man, and good luck on the 19th.
All right, peace and blessing, guys. Have a good one.